All right, it's the last week, week 8, and this theme, this subject is the most important, and it's about crossing the bridge. And what does that mean? It means we all have to cross bridges in our life. And there's some bridges that some of us don't want to cross. When it comes to type 2 diabetes, it is not easy. So the mindset we want you to understand is it's not easy, because if it was easy, we wouldn't have 10% of the population suffering from this disease. But what's the good news?
Well, the good news is everybody crosses the bridge, but you don't always have to cross that bridge by yourself. And I think that's the message today, is that we're here to help you along the way, and you don't have to cross it by yourself, but we have to cross it. And so again,
if we want a different outcome.
If you want a better life, you want to, again, the disease doesn't have to be, you don't have to be the disease. You can do something about that. So again, that's what really we want to do, is understand that you have the power to make some of these changes, but at some point in time, you do have to cross the bridge. Sometimes we don't want to move the body, but we need to. Sometimes we'd rather eat that cake and that ice cream. And again, we want to have you enjoy that stuff, part of your life, but at some point in time, you also have to cross that bridge where it gets a little uncomfortable. And that's nothing wrong with it getting a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, so it's not easy. Hopefully we created a simple strategy for you, giving you some simple concepts, thinking about what are some of the small steps you can take. And so the learning and knowing in this week is that we have to build habits. Habits are the key. And what do habits lead to?
Well, the habits are going to lead to rituals. So for example, we get up in the morning and you take a shower, and you get out of the shower, do you put your right shoe on first or left? These are all habits and rituals. Do you brush your teeth, do you floss? These are all habits along the way. A simple habit we've talked about already is, are you drinking enough water? Mm-hmm. What's your breathing look like? Do you have good sleep habits now?
Are you thinking about movement?
Are you thinking about movement? Do you plan it? Do you take micro breaks in your day? There's lots of information we gave you along the way, but the goal is to slowly build these into your lifestyle that's not overwhelming. It just becomes part of your DNA, and that's the ritual along the way. And once you have it, you don't have to think about it, because developing a new habit takes lots of energy. But once you have it, we all know this. We've all gone to work and maybe think about something else, and we're supposed to go there, but we're driving to work. So again, these are all things that we've developed over time, and that's called habits, and that just takes time.
And so what we want you to take action on is, we want you to keep going, keep building these habits, keep refining these habits, make them become rituals. And we talk about the 80-20 rule, and we talk about it a lot from a nutrition standpoint, but we want you to think about it from a lifestyle standpoint. You don't have to be perfect. You're thinking, I don't know if I can sustain this. Well, let's start up with the 80-20 rule. And what does that mean?
Well, again, about 80% of the time, you're really focused on improving your lifestyle. The other 20%, we step off the curb, and that's okay. Everybody does that. We want to have that. Maybe right now you're 50-50 and you're moving to 60-40, but the goal is you're just trying to develop a lifestyle that you can repeat, and that's the magic. Because when you feel like you have to eat perfect, and I have to work out, and I have to do all that stuff, it's not going to happen. And that's why we have such an incredible failure rate in the United States from our health. So again, the key is developing habits you can repeat. 80% of the time, you're focused. The other 20% of the time, you're letting your hair down. That's okay. That's really what the 80-20 rule means, is developing a lifestyle you can repeat.
And to end this course, and we're here always to help you, but we're going to throw it back at you. And the key is, we know if you're watching this, you want some different outcomes. You want to potentially not be a type 2 diabetic. You want potentially not to become a type 2 diabetic, or maybe a loved one you're trying to help guide them along the way. This is the key. You have to find a reason why. And if you don't have a reason why, it's going to be really hard to cross that bridge. And what do you want them to end and leave with to find their why?
So again, many times we feel stuck in our lives. Everybody does at some point in time, depending on what it might be. But you have to have the courage to start crossing that bridge. And to help you cross that bridge, you got to think about, what's your purpose, what's your driver, what's your why. Your why can be very small. It could be as simple as losing 10 pounds. but your why could be also very powerful. Maybe you have grandkids out there that you want to be vibrant and healthy with, and maybe share some of the beautiful things you've learned along your lifetime with them. So again, we have to keep searching what's our purpose, what's our driver, what's dragging us along the way when we don't feel like it. And I think we've all been there. People ask me all the time, do you always feel like exercising? The answer is no. But many times I know if I just put my shoes on and start moving my body, I know I'm going to feel good afterwards. And that's the driver that keeps pulling us along. And then you build habits, and that's the magic you have over time.
So thanks for joining us this 8 weeks, hopefully giving you some habits, some nuggets, some ways to think, some action items to take. And remember, we know you want to cross that bridge. We're here to guide you. You got to find your why, and we'll see you again in the future.